Alright, so here we go again. So today we got the Neeve knives misdemeanor. What a good looking knife in my opinion. Just a really sick looking knife, I think. I like the knife a whole lot, but unfortunately it has one major flaw in my opinion, and it's not the clip. The clip is tough getting it in and out of the pocket right now. Let's see, I'm gonna take this over here. So you can see I'm fighting with it a little bit to get it in there. Getting it out, it's not really a problem, but it's tight going in and out, and that's even after I already put some cardboard underneath of it all night long to try to release the tension. The clip's not really that big of a deal because he said he's already said that he's getting more clips made that have better retention on them, and he's going to hopefully only charge, the least amount that he can for them. So that's not really that big of a deal to me, and this thing just, I'm sure you heard it right there, but it just makes the most amazing sound you've ever heard in your entire life. It's so good. Just the sound coming off of this thing. It's like a tuning fork. And it's literally because the blade stock is so thin, and it's a hollow ground, so it just reverberates all the way. When it hits the internal stop pin, hits the back end, it reverberates all the way up the blade and makes it have that wonderful noise. And this is the belt satin DLC version, which is super nice. It's the only belt satin DLC knife that I have, and it looks fantastic, and it's already broke down a shit ton of boxes, and it's held up great. The knife itself is full titanium frame lock, got the front flipper, top flipper, and the blade window, which works amazing for the reverse flick. You can thumb flick it, but I've got to get way down here, and even then I've got to give it a little bit of wrist. But the reverse flick is just really good, and so is the top flip, and you can do the rollover on it as well pretty easily. The jumping is a little aggressive for me on the rollover flip, but it works really good on just the regular front flip, so it's hard to complain. I think he calls it a coral texture. It's really nice. It gives actual grip in the hand, and then the whole rest of the knife has got a really nice chamfer running along all the edges, so everything's knocked down really nice. The clip the same way. I chamfered it real hard on that back edge back there, so it rides in the hand real nice. The back spacer, you can see it's geared right there, and they actually stick up a little bit, so it actually gives you some nice traction in the palm of your hand. I like it a lot. I like the ano on this one too. It just looks cool. So what's the issue with the knife? Well, once I started cutting with it in the regular grip, so right here, that lock bar, look at how big that lock bar cutout is, and I could feel it. It's already, you can see how much engagement we've got there. 50 plus, 50, right at 40, 50 I'd say. And so when you're gripping it in the standard grip, I can feel that lock bar wanting to move over. So when you start bearing down on it to pass through material, you can just feel it wanting to start pushing over, and eventually I think you'll lock yourself out. So the only real way to hold the knife, in my opinion, is in the choke up spot. And I don't have a problem with that. I like it in this grip. It feels good in this grip, but it just kind of sucks, and it was kind of an oversight to make the lock bar cut out so big. And then the knife is pretty darn thin, so on top of that, compounded with how big this lock bar cutout is, I mean, you can see it's like 60% of the knife on this side. It's just got me concerned. We'll just say that. The knife was expensive, and I wanted it to be a really good user knife, a work knife, and it is. I just have to be conscious of making sure I only grip it in the choked up spot. If I go grabbing it back here and really get to breaking down boxes with it, I can already tell I'm gonna have a real problem on my hands. A real problem, as in I'll end up with the what do you call it? Just an ornamental piece, basically, that'll sit on a shelf and can't really do much with it, Which that sucks, because everything else about the knife is so good. The hell, it's worth buying just for the noise alone, I think. The noise this thing makes is just crazy. And then the way it passes through material, it cuts like you just wouldn't believe because of that hollow grind and just how thin the knife is. It came with a really good edge on it too, but I was going to try to halfway wear out the edge and then put my own edge on it. And that belt satin DLC just looks amazing. I've got some other knives that had the belt satin, but I'm always scared to really use them because I don't want to mess up the belt satin on them, because the belt satin just looks so good. But at least with the DLC, you don't really have to be concerned about that. Yeah, it's just a really cool knife. It's a really good knife, minus the one issue with it. That lock bar. Like I said, as long as you're going to stay in the choked up grip, I think you're going to be fine. The jimping's really nice. It's really functional. It grips your thumb very well, locks you in place really good. And the clip actually, like I said, now that I've kind of put some cardboard under it and got, taken some of the tension off of it, which I'll probably do again tonight. It runs a lot better since I did that. I think it'll even run better once I do it again. And then having the lock bar cut out on the inside is really nice. I'm still really happy that I picked it up, and I think I'll hold on to it. I just got to condition myself to make sure that I hold it in that choked up grip. And hell, it might not even mess up if you held it in the standard grip, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to take a chance on it with how much the knife costs. Yeah, but I still highly recommend it. They're sold out now, but he'll probably do another run of them where you might can find one on Blade Binge to pick up. Let's just listen to it for a minute. God dang, son. Shoo-wee, it's hard to complain about that noise. I'll tell you what, I don't mind listening to that all day, driving around in the truck from job to job. Pa-ting, pa-ting. I've got another knife coming that's got like a tuning board on the inside of it that causes the knife to make a ting. So it doesn't work the same way. It won't reverberate down the blade like this one does. It's actually a piece on the inside of the knife. But I'm really interested to see the kind of noise that one makes whenever I get it. And I always wanted a Factor because of the noise the Factor made, but I never sprung on one. Just because it seemed, a little gimmicky for what it was, but I should have probably picked one up. I got a Severin, so I probably should have just got a Factor, but whatever. Yeah, it's a great knife. It's a great knife. And I don't, like I said, the lock bar issue, the knife was kind of meant to be held in the choked up spot anyway. I feel like that's where it's the most comfortable to be held. That's where it's the most practical when you're breaking down material. But every once in a while when I'm just grabbing my knife and just going, I'll go for the standard grip, just not thinking about what I'm doing, And as soon as I did that, about the third or fourth box I broke down, I felt like it was given on that lock bar side, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, let me look at this. And then I looked at where the lockup was, and I was like, was it that far over when I first got it? I couldn't remember. So then I started questioning it, I've only had the knife for like 2 days, so this isn't like a true review. It's more just like me rambling about the knife, I do like it a whole lot. like I said, just the noise alone, god dang it, so good, so good. Anyways, just thought I'd kind of put this out there. Hope you all are having a good day. Talk to everyone later.